Hello and welcome to RVCasts, brought to you by Curb and Turf. On this show, you will get insight from our full-time RVers, Dave and Tracy Stanley, as they showcase out of the ordinary RV sights and adventures, along with tips and tricks for enhancing your RV experience. And now, let's hit the road.
Hi, welcome to another episode of RVCast. Today we're highlighting an excellent place right outside of Mesa, Arizona. Is that right?
Yeah, we're technically in Mesa, but County Island.
Okay, perfect. So this is Greg. He's the owner of
Kinsey Country Farm.
Kinsey Country Farm. Fantastic place. Great place to stay, and it's so convenient. You're not that far out of town, right?
No, we're just on a little county island. We're right near town. We're right near the freeway. I think we're 3 or 4 miles from the freeway. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that there's not very many places around here to stay, unless you want to go to the RV park. But if you want a real authentic farm, come to
Kinsey Country Farm.
Right. So let's just take a quick tour. What do we got? What do we got around the farm?
Well, we've got right here, we've got some sheep, goats, and donkeys, and some dogs that are going to trip you.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So free-range dogs.
Free-range dogs.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they guard the place. They'll lick you to death.
Right.
So we got the loner goat here. That's Prim, and she just kind of hangs to herself. That's all she does.
Sweet.
And then we've got, let's see, who's coming up close here. This is Coco. Coco and her sister Mocha were born right in front of our house there.
Sweet. So are these animals that people that are staying are allowed to come in and pet?
Yeah, yep, they can come in and pet. We do farm tours. Our daughter gives farm tours. We kind of let her run the show on that one. She's gonna be 10 next month, so she loves giving farm tours.
Fantastic. So check out the ancillary items for this reservation, because then you can sign up for a farm tour and help support her in her little booming business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Fantastic.
And then we've got 9 sheep over here. They are a mix. I'm not sure the other mix, but they are a Shetland breed, and so their fur is really good. We shear them once a year, or they call shore them, once a year about May. This is Roscoe. He loves the camera too. Hi, buddy. Oh. Yeah, he's awesome. He's a BLM rescue that we got.
Oh, okay. Or is that more burro?
No, he's a donkey.
He's a donkey.
Yeah, he's a donkey.
So what's the difference between a donkey and a burro?
The spelling. I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Probably just where they're at. I mean,
okay.
I couldn't tell you. They go off of this hair pattern here. It's like a cross. So for like Jesus and stuff like that, that's why they think
really?
These guys are the ones that kind of carried them. And cool. Every donkey I've ever been around bites. He lips, but he doesn't bite. See?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't bite at all, but he lips. So he's pretty good.
Nice.
He's a nice guy. And then, yeah, the sheep are cool too. They just nibble a little bit. They just kind of hang out. There were 4 moms, and then the other 5 were born here. And we use them as, we do mobile petting zoos. A lot of times we're gonna maybe slow that down. Nice. But we have people come by, and yeah, he's a ham. He's
he's hogging the camera.
Yeah, he's all about it.
Yeah. This is great friendly animals here. You can tell that they are very well taken care of. And you grew up on a farm?
I was born in Arkansas, hence the Razorbacks jersey. Yeah. And then lived in Little Rock, but then lived out in the middle of nowhere for probably 3 years, from 1 to 4. And so that embedded deep. And then I moved around Oklahoma and Texas, and then ended up in 1983 up in just outside of Seattle, Washington. Not a farm. And so just always had the need to get back to it. And
right.
Here in Arizona, the price of land's kind of expensive. So you get lucky if you can find a spot. So we got lucky to find, it's a little over an acre. So we just try to make every inch count.
Fantastic. So. Fantastic. And is farming your only gig, or do you
No,
do
I fix sliding glass doors.
Okay.
I put sunscreens on the windows and sliding screen doors and stuff like that, and then we've also cleaned windows and solar panels as well.
Oh,
so
very
that's
cool.
the day job that keeps my son-in-law busy, so that I can mess around here on the farm.
Right. All right. Are these the only animals you got?
No, we've got some over here too.
Okay.
We got a couple alpaca.
Oh, really?
Yep, and then a horse that we just rescued, and 2 pigs.
Oh my gosh.
And they're so-called potbelly miniature pigs, but they're not so miniature. they get fed decent, as do I.
There you go. There you go.
So we'll go over here. We'll meet the alpacas first. So this brown one is Jason. He's about 10. It's not that he's not friendly. He just doesn't like to be pet all that much. He'll smell to see if I've got any food, and then he's like off.
Then he's gone.
And then this is Onyx. He's a ham too. He's a lover. He loves everything. In fact, he'll usually give me a kiss.
Nice.
I put my face up there. Hi, buddy. There we go.
Ah.
Yeah,
I hope we got that on camera. So.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But that's Onyx and Jason.
Fantastic.
And we got them pretty much for the petting zoo and just to bring in people, because people love to see alpacas.
Right.
As you can see, he's laid down. Got to brush him off a little bit here.
Yeah.
But,
so the alpacas, do you use them for anything other than the petting zoo? Or
we shear them once a year as well, because it gets hot here, real hot. So we got to shear them at least once. And we didn't do anything with their fur last year, but we're going to try to do something this year. We're going to try to find somebody to either sell it to or teach us how to do something. Probably look up on YouTube how to take care of some stuff. They're what they call pet grade fur. So you can make hats and sweaters and all this stuff, socks out of regular alpaca fur, but these guys are pet grade. So it'd be like floor mats, place mats, dryer lint balls, stuff like that.
So it's a little more coarse.
A little more coarse, yeah.
Very cool.
When you feel them, everybody's like, oh, they're so squishy. But if you've ever felt a alpaca on the other end, like usually the females, it's like they're a totally different deal.
Very cool.
Yep. And then this is Dixie. She is a rescue that we just received about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
My neighbor over here has a junk removal business, and he was at a job at a 93-year-old guy's house and cleaning up, and they saw this horse, and she was probably a good 200 pounds lighter than this now.
Oh my God.
And so she was almost kind of skin and bones, but the old man, he felt bad for him because he could only feed the horse. He'd only get out there about every 3 days, about every 3 to 4 days. And so she was down in weight. And so what he did is traded the work for the horse because he couldn't leave the horse. So then he's got a property just 2 properties over from us, but he raises dogs. And so he doesn't have horse, and he doesn't know much about them, and horse are herd animals, and so they want to be around other animals.
Right.
And so he said, hey, if you can find me some goats, not our goats, of course, but if we can find him some goats, his son's interested in learning how to do that, but you need at least 2 of those as well. So we said, we'll bring her over, and we've put probably another 50 pounds on her, and we're still close. You can still see some ribs and stuff there, and she's shedding her winter coat right now. Right. So and she's always hungry.
Done a fantastic job.
Yeah. No, she's a sweet horse too. We put her out in the field, and she gets a little irritated because she's away from she's made friends with the alpacas.
Gotcha.
And so whenever we take the alpacas out or vice versa, she gets a little irritated with us, but I mean, she gets over it.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a blanket and saddle on her not too far down the road.
Yeah.
And see if we can ride her. But she's easily trained, lifts her hooves, everything.
Wow.
So in fact, I think she's got a vet check tomorrow to come out and double check on her.
So do you have to do some special training to get her ride ready?
Probably just remind her, because she seems like she was already ridden before.
Oh, okay.
And so it's probably just some reminding things, like I'll lead rope, a decent long lead rope, and then I'll have the end of it kind of twirling, and we just do some laps left and right and get her warmed up. And then what I'll do is I'll put a blanket on her, do the same thing. Then I'll put a saddle on her, do the same thing. Then I'll put my weight on her, but not all the way. Just maybe she won't buck.
Right.
And so she's cribbing right now. We're not sure. That's why the vet's coming out. We're not sure if there might be something intestinal or if she's bored. I do let her out, but I mean that's a common thing when they're bored. So we'll see what's going on with her.
What's cribbing?
It's when they bite the wood.
Oh, uh-huh.
And so they just kind of, I don't know if it's resetting her teeth or not, because she'll do it after she's done eating. Every bite, she'll chew and then bite the fence and kind of pull her teeth.
Gotcha.
And then make that weird sound.
Right.
So we don't know what that is. I'm not a horse guy, even though we've had horses before. I don't know a lot about them. And so we're gonna let the vet kind of tell us what's going on.
Sounds cool. Well, good. A real rescue.
Yeah. And then we got the pigs. The white pig is Daisy, and the brown and black one is Boss Hog. And so Daisy was a rescue, but not in a bad way. The former owner just had to get rid of her. She was renting a house, and the owner was fine with the horses and goats and everything else, but didn't want a pig. And so we went and got her. She was probably half that size. And then Boss Hog, he was probably this big. And yeah,
let's
it's about that big when we got him. And then we had a divider right here, and so we put him in here away from her because she wasn't too happy with the little one. And then he's kind of snuck over, but somehow he got one of the wires or something caught on his side of his shoulder, and it ripped him open a little bit.
Oh man.
And so our dog Duke, the old man of the place, we caught him over here. He's behind here licking his wounds, and then he became a porch pig. So we just had him up on the porch.
Oh, cool.
Had him in the house for a little bit, but he wasn't easily trained to go to the bathroom outside yet. So my wife said, no, porch pig. And then he got big enough, he was digging up the yard a little bit. So we're like, all right, now come into this. And since he was big enough, now they're buddies.
Nice.
Until it's feeding time, and then they fight on who gets to eat.
Right. So the Boss Hog, let's see, is that an homage to...
That's Duke's a Hazard.
Yeah.
So that's
all right.
Roscoe's name, Roscoe Pico Train.
Right.
And then Duke is the dog, so that's the last name. Boss Hog, Daisy.
Of course.
And then Dixie, that's her name. We changed her name to Dixie for the Jeep on there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it. We had a couple rabbits. They ended up passing away because they were kind of fragile, and they were Bo and Luke. So we might switch that over to the Alpacas name.
There you go.
Don't know yet, so.
So just imagine Daisy with her Daisy Dukes on.
If you want to imagine that, yeah.
Not quite the same.
No, no, she's a pretty girl. She's got pretty eyes if you can ever see them.
Yeah.
But they're just napping. As soon as I open up the feed bucket, they're going to be alive and well.
Oh, fantastic. Great. What else we got?
So we've got chickens, and they're on the back side over here.
Okay.
We've just got our barn and everything else. It's a working farm, so there's never any projects finished, and there's always projects adding.
Fantastic. So cool farm. Just about the right size, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would like it a little bigger, but that's just me.
Right,
I mean,
right.
We're going to take what we can get out here.
Yeah. So what's the biggest challenge about having a farm?
Here in Arizona, there's no, you got to plant your grass. And so that's the biggest, we got to hay feed everybody. And so it's expensive, it's not cheap.
Right.
I would love to plant some grass, but that costs money, and you got to water it. And I don't have irrigation, we're on a well. So it's that's probably the roughest thing. But if you can get water to the animals, that's good, but you got to hay feed them.
That's cool. What's the most rewarding part about it?
Actually just being able to escape kind of outside, because I run my business in my house too. So then I'm like, I know at 7 in the morning and at 4 in the evening, it's feeding time. So I'm come out here, brush the animals, hang out with them, talk with them, just
That's cool.
figure out what's going on.
Yeah. So it's a nice escape from
from
the mundane.
I don't look at it as work. Like if I could get a huge farm or ranch, I'd love it, because that's not work to me. That's I think my grandfather, I mean, everybody's heard it. Once you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life. So that'd be it. And it's not easy. I mean, I've built everything here. The house was half the size, and there was nothing else here but mesquite trees everywhere. So in 5 years, I've built all of it.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
And then we've got an RV spot that we do.
Right.
So people can come and check it out.
Perfect. Well, that sounds great. So what does the future hold for you with the farm?
We're actually looking to move our farm to Texas, to East Texas.
Oh, cool.
And hoping somebody comes here and maybe sees the opportunity that they can have animals. And it's kind of turnkey, because we're already located.
Yeah.
They can just probably change the name of it and just still get on all the sites and everything. And if they want to buy my animals, I'll sell my animals. That's fine.
Yeah.
The only one we really want to take with us is probably Roscoe, because I would like to get into cattle and stuff like that. And donkeys are a protection animal.
Right.
So they'll kill coyotes and stuff like that.
Oh, very cool.
And then we love all our animals. Like Boss Hog's a hard one to pass by.
Right.
Daisy still, I'd be like, well, which ones do we take? Which ones do we not take? Because these are for not meat purposes or anything else. We would never eat them. They're too much of our family, and that's not what we bought them for. They're too fat. They're not lean enough for us to eat. We don't want fat animals to eat. So
well, and I've heard the challenge is once you name them, that's hard because you can't be looking at them on the plates.
I don't have a problem with that, but the kids do.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that because I look at there's animals for our consumption, and then there's our pets. So we had an alpaca before. We had rescued one, and he was mean. He was mean as mean could get. Couldn't get it out of him. So we talked with a lot of other alpaca people, and they said just don't get rid of him to somebody else because somebody's going to abuse him and like hurt him. So just take care of him, make sausage out of him. So we did.
There you go.
And he was mean, and that made him more delicious. So he's good, tasty. I know a lot of people that might not want to hear that, but that's a farm. You eat things. So
yeah, for sure.
You know.
So any great stories about the farm? Something funny or memorable that really sticks out?
We did a 70 chicken butchering here, right behind you.
70
chickens, did about 2.5 hours.
Whoa.
And we had our cousins from Vegas who have a small little hobby farm come and teach us how to do it. We had neighbors come from all over and they helped us. So they got a chicken and did that deal. And it was not the typical Cornish cross hen. It was a Freedom Ranger. We skinned them. We didn't pluck them.
Right.
They did gut them, but they're smaller birds. So anybody with big hands, they got out of having to gut them. So the small hand guys and ladies had to gut them.
Right.
And then us other guys had to strip the skin off. So,
right.
But it was fun. But it was hard work. It was for 2.5 hours. 70 birds.
Wow.
But we lived off that quite a while.
And were those birds that you raised?
We raised them. Yeah, we raised them right up this front pasture here. And this pasture was kind of blocked. It was a different fence, but I moved them every day. They were in a Joel Salatin type of contraption that I built.
Cool.
Watching his videos, I follow him a lot, and just move them every day so they're not standing in their own junk.
Right.
And they build the pasture, so they defecate and everything else, and just move them along.
Yeah.
Every day you water them, feed them, move them along.
Self-fertilize.
11 weeks. Well, they were in 2 weeks. They were in a brooder. Then the other 9 weeks they were out in the field.
Nice.
So it was nice, and they were delicious. They were so good.
Yeah.
They were so good. We fed them non-GMO feed.
Right.
And we feed all our animals real good because one, they deserve it, and two, if we ever had to eat them, we try to watch our health real well.
Right.
We don't want the typical processed things that you get at the store. So.
Right. Very
and that's
cool.
our goal. And then we do little farm tours, like I said, and try to teach people because we're surrounded. You can't tell it here, but we're surrounded by cookie cutter homes and big builder homes and stuff like that. And so there's probably 50,000 people to this side and another 30,000 going in over here and another 5 over here. And that's just the houses that are around us. So we try to figure out a way to teach them. And a lot of the people moving from California, they have never been to a farm. They've only seen it on TV. So we get a lot of people coming. And to me, this isn't a farm. This is a hobby deal.
Right.
But to them, it's a farm. It's got a red barn, so it's got to be a farm.
Right. So. Very cool. Very cool.
Other than that, I mean, I've gotten bucked off a horse here. I mean,
all right.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. I mean, I say I jumped off, but everybody else says I got bucked off.
Right.
So,
which story are you sticking with for sure?
Yeah, my story. I'm telling it.
Yeah.
So I jumped off. I saved myself.
There you go. So, well, show us a little bit what's available for the RV spot.
Let's do that. So we had camped a few times using some different places to host and stuff like that. So we saw kind of what it would be. And so right before I built this pasture, I had this flat spot made. We didn't have the fence, we didn't have the grass, we didn't have any, it was just desert. And so I built that just for if we had family coming with their RVs or something like that, or if anybody wanted to use it. And then our dues were coming up and my wife goes, well, do you want to host? I'm like, yeah, who's going to come to the desert? Right. And then we've been busy ever since for 2 years.
That's so cool.
So then I installed a 50 amp breaker over on the back side so they can use it. Nice. Water over here, because I've got to water the animals anyway. So I put water in. We don't have a dump or anything like that, but there's a place not far from here that'll dump for you.
Very cool.
So
very cool.
And they get this spot, they can pull in. Like trailers, they have to back in obviously this way, but anybody like in a van like yours, they can pull in, and just depend on which way they want to face. You know, what do they want to wake up to the morning? Sheep and bells and donkeys, or grass?
Right.
So
so cool. So cool. And you've got the length here that you can pretty much accommodate anything.
We've had the biggest of rigs here.
Right.
I mean, it's tight to get them in. We got to move the vehicles and let them swing in, but they're able to get in there. We made sure it was wide enough for any pop outs that were big enough and stuff like that. So yeah, we've had them all the way out to, I mean, I don't know the biggest ones, but where the back of it's all the way there, the front's right about here, and they're parking right here.
The big toy haulers?
Yeah, big toy haulers. So
yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and we're not far from Legacy Sports Arena. It's a huge multi-sport complex. It's huge. They got basketball tournaments, volleyball, softball, soccer. It's 83 acres of sports.
Wow.
And so we get a lot of people that'll come here, park here, so they can just go right over there.
Right.
And it's way cheaper than getting an Airbnb, and they've got their own rigs, so.
Right, for sure. And so how far away is that Legacy Park?
3 miles, probably 2 miles by Crow, 3 miles away.
Oh, very
so
cool.
It's super close. And we're within 1.5 miles of Safeway and all that. So I mean, so you think you're rural, but you're not.
Right, right, very cool. So anybody that's visiting for like a soccer tournament, baseball tournament, which you have all winter long, right? Because this is the place.
Yeah, well, and it's indoors too. So I mean, the softball's not, but the basketball.
Yeah.
So let's see, the soccer and the softball's outside. So that doesn't go on in the summer, but everything else. They've got roller derby. I've got a friend that I'm friends with that she does roller derby in there.
Oh my gosh.
They got all kinds of stuff there. And we got national parks near. We got Superstition, which if you could see right over those trees, the Superstition Mountains are right there.
Yeah.
And so that's within 10, 15 minutes.
Wow. Very cool.
And there's another farm that's it's a vegetable farm that's right in the middle of all these houses. And he's a buddy of mine. His name's Eric. Steadfast Farms, and so people can even get vegetables and all that other stuff. We've had that here before, but he's got it dialed in.
Nice. Does he do a farmer's market type of deal?
He does farmer markets in Gilbert. He does, I think, 3 or 4, but the biggest one is Gilbert Farmers Market.
Right.
And so that's huge.
Right.
He also does produce for chefs and restaurants and CSA, and he's also got the store that's always busy. They do coffee and tacos, so breakfast tacos. So but he's got it dialed in. He's been doing it a long time, and cool. I took a class from him and learned how to do it myself. So if I ever want to do that,
nice,
we'll just add it on. There's plenty of people to buy because he sells out all the time.
Right, very cool. Well, good. So one of the things that comes to mind as I look at this big red barn is that would be a fantastic photo op and also a great place perhaps for wedding ceremonies or something that are on a small scale. Yeah,
we were thinking about doing that. We haven't totally ironed that out yet, but we're thinking on a small scale, maybe no more than 20, 25 people. Because there are a lot of people that want to do that, but the other venues are so big and so expensive that they just kind of, they got to either know someone that has a farm, or they got to pony up that money. So we were thinking of doing something small because we don't have a ton of parking. But at the same time, you know, so some people want to do it.
Little intimate, or maybe even just a family that wants to come out and do a photo shoot, like Christmas photos.
Yeah, we get a lot of people like that because you got the donkey, so they love that, or Cinco de Mayo, something like that. But we get a lot of people that love just it's rustic, you know. We're out here in Arizona where it's the Old West, and it's just rustic. So so the cool thing is they're not only listed on Curb and Turf here as a place to park an RV, but you can catch them at, what's your website? Our KinseyCountryFarm.com.
Okay, and that's 2 Ks?
Yes, Kinsey, Kinsey, and then Country, Kountry, farm.com.
And so you can just reach out to them directly to arrange any photo shoots or like I say, if you wanted to do a little intimate wedding ceremony or something. It is limited to the parking, but hey, you know what? Somebody that says, hey, I want to do a super simple, we can stay in the RVs and then we can take off on our honeymoon in our RV.
And it's BYO everything. They can even hire me to cook if they want.
There you go. So cool. Well, this is a real treat. This is a super cool place and so dang convenient, and one of the very few places that is outside of RV park The cool thing about using a site like this is you're not 10 feet away from your next RVer, and you just got peace and quiet, and you're surrounded by farm animals.
Farm animals, yeah. Yeah, so we try to keep it, honestly, we try to keep, we've only got the one spot that has electric and water.
Right.
And then we can fit others in if we need to, but we try to keep it no more than 2 just because of the experience. We love it when it's just 1, just because of the experience, and they get their own time here. Like they can feel like they're actually, it's not a park.
Yeah.
You know, where everybody and their brother's here.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, I got a lot of family members. I got a lot of kids that come by. So that's just my own family, but they don't have to share it.
Right. And it's always one of those experiences where, you could have 20 people in the park, and all it takes is one of them to be cranking up their music and whatnot.
Yeah. And people are super nice. They're like, can we run our generators? Like, you got a generator, run it.
Right.
It doesn't bother us.
Yeah, because you're still country enough.
Yeah.
That you're not really going to get.
You're not bugging anybody.
People bugged by anything.
Yeah.
Well, this is awesome. Thanks a bunch.
Absolutely,
Greg.
man. Thank you.
Okay. Kinsey Country Farm, right outside of Mesa, Arizona. Just check it out and come by for a stay. And until then, we'll see you on the road. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RVCast. We hope you enjoyed hearing about our latest adventures on the road.
And don't forget, if you're itching to explore unique and interesting RV destinations, be sure to download the Curb and Turf app.
That's right, Curb and Turf, it's your go-to for finding those hidden gems off the beaten path. And hey, if you own property and you want to share your slice of paradise with fellow travelers, why not become a host yourself?
Absolutely. Just head over to curbandturf.com/start hosting to get started, or reach out to us for more information.
Yeah, and you don't want to miss a future episode, so be sure to subscribe to RVCast so that you never miss a beat.
Until next time, happy trails and safe travels.
We'll see you on the road.